Welcome to another episode of the podcast Resilient Riches. Today we have one of the most incredible people in the world, written a book under 90 seconds, saves countless thousands and thousands of lives, I would say a day. And right now he's working on tens of thousands of lives a day. One of the most respected people in the world, TED Talk speaker, Eli Beer. Eli, thank you so much for what you're doing. I know you're on the ground floor. I know I heard stories that even on Sukkot, when this went down, your friend that you were with, you drove down right into the line of fire. There were bullets. You saved countless lives. Can you give us a little background about where you're from, what's going on right now? And we want to hear your story, and we want to hear from you.
Well, I grew up here in Israel. I'm actually born in Jerusalem. My parents are both from New York. Made Aliyah. So we're an American, we're Israeli, but very Jewish. So we had a beautiful Sukkot, and my whole family were together. My son is in the army, so he wasn't with us. He's actually serving in the special forces. And my wife and kids are all volunteers of United Hatzalah. So I grew up actually in Jerusalem. When I was 15, I started volunteering in the back of an ambulance. And I realized when I was almost a year volunteering that ambulances don't get there fast enough. They need to be fixed. The system is broken. People call for help, and they get an ambulance after 20 minutes, and it's sometimes too late. So I decided to revolutionize the whole way of ambulances and get volunteers to respond to calls on motorcycles, paramedics, EMTs on motorcycles. And I always saw, when I was a child, I saw motorcycles delivering pizza, and we were stuck in traffic with an ambulance. I said, if I have a choke, I'm calling for a pizza. And that's where the idea was, to start United Hatzalah. So today we have 7,000 volunteers. I'm very, very proud of all of them. My family are all volunteers. My wife, Kitty, she's a paramedic. My daughter, my son-in-laws, my whole family. So we actually, all the time when we are home together on Shabbat, we always go on calls. Like, it's always like part of the meal. We could stop the meal in the middle, and we're going out to save someone. And it's then we come back for dessert. And this goes on for many, many, many years. And we have in United Hatzalah a lot of volunteers who come from different sectors. We have Arab volunteers, we have Christians, we have Druze, we have Jews from all sects. We have Hasidic, secular, Reform, every type of human being living in Israel volunteering for us. So actually on Shabbat, when we go out for a meal, we always invite different types. We also have Muslim volunteers coming to do Shabbat by us. And we go out to calls in the middle of the meal. We just respond to calls like an ambulance station. So this happened on October 7th. My life changed. Everyone's lives changed. We were having a beautiful Sukkot, Simchat Torah. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get a phone call like 6 o'clock, 6:30, 6:40 in the morning. I'm like, everything is beautiful. Chag is beautiful. I said, why is someone calling me at 6:40 in the morning? And it's a second ring. I didn't answer the first one. And then the second time they call, I answer as our dispatch. They were panicked. They said, Eli, we have volunteers who are shot. I said, what are you talking about? They said, volunteers of United Hatzalah are shot. I said, why are they shot? They said they have terrorists everywhere in the south of Israel. They have missiles and everything. I said, oh, what's going on? They started telling me Sderot, in Kfar Aza, in Be'eri, and other places. And hundreds of people are calling the dispatch. And they say, women are calling us, mothers are saying, our babies we hid them in the attic. We hid them in the closet. Go save them, because we're not going to survive this. They're going to kill us. The terrorists are going to kill us. They're coming into the house. We just want our kids to be saved. I jumped out of bed. I didn't have enough time to get dressed properly. I ran to my car. My wife ran to her car. My son-in-laws ran to their cars. They went down south. I went to the dispatch of United Hatzalah, where we had 10 volunteers answering the phones. It wasn't enough. They needed 60. I called every dispatcher possible to come. And they came really quick. They came from shuls. A lot of them were religious. They were wearing talises on them. And they ran out of shuls to come work in the dispatch. It was like, when I saw them running into the dispatch of United Hatzalah 911 center we have here, our number is 1221 in Israel. So they ran in with wearing the talis. I was like thinking, this is the pictures I saw in Yom Kippur, the Yom Kippur War. That's the pictures I saw. The people with the taluses running into a bus, running to the army. And then we started sending volunteers from everywhere: Netanya, Herzliya, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, everywhere. Just go down south because they have a war going down. No one really understood this in the beginning. But we were in the dispatch. We had so many calls coming in from everywhere. We realized this is a war. This is an invasion of terror. We didn't really understand how big of a war it's going to be. We didn't know how many people we're going to see dead or people were injured. We thought it would be maybe 100 or 200 people injured or whatever, or 20 people dead. When our volunteer, the first volunteer, was killed, we heard this. The first volunteer was shot by a terrorist. He was a Muslim Arab volunteer of ours. His name was Awad. He lived in Nazareth. He came to be in that party, overnight party. He was a paramedic in charge in case they have something happening. He ran to save a young girl who was shot by a terrorist, maybe a 19-year-old girl. He ran over to her and he started putting a tourniquet on her. That terrorist caught him, and he was an Arab, but he started screaming in Arabic to them. Very gentle guy, Awad, very, very gentle, but started screaming in Arabic. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm a paramedic. He understood he speaks Arabic. They tortured him. He was wearing an Israeli flag on him, and he was wearing this vest, this United Hatzalah vest. They killed him. They tortured his body, and we couldn't even recognize him days later. This is the first victim of United Hatzalah. The second one was a volunteer of ours, Maor, from Kiryat Malachi, he was a brave man. He ran into the fire. He realized what's going on. He was a special forces guy before. So he went fighting the terrorists, and he shot 11 of the terrorists. He was able to shoot.
Yeah, there's something. It's amazing what you're talking about all these different people and how they're able to come in and be united. We've been getting a lot of discussions that this is a political. People and some companies can't make statements because it's political. This is not a political war. This is humanity versus terrorism. This is good versus evil. There's nothing to do with politics here.
Well, listen, if anyone says anything that this is political, it's like exactly like saying 1934 or 1935 when Hitler took over Germany and said, I'm going to go kill the Jews. And you said, oh, that's political. Sorry, that's political. This is a clear picture. There is nothing more clear than this. The Hamas said this clearly. We're going to kill every single human being in Israel. Kill, not we're going to kick them out of Israel. They're going to kill every Jew in Israel. Babies, adults, women and men, soldiers and civilians, everyone. It's not a political statement. This is a humanitarian statement. This is fight against evil. This is nothing else. This is fight against evil. These people are Nazis. These people are ISIS. These people are Al-Qaeda all together. Hamas is the essence of all of these groups together. These people came in with an intention of taking babies and burning them. Babies, little tiny babies. They chopped up the heads of babies and they burned them. That's not political. When any company says, oh, I have to be careful about my statements. You don't have to be careful about the statements. It's like saying, I can't say anything about Germany in 1940 because it's political. It's not political. This is a clear statement. If you don't know how to fight for justice, if you don't know how to fight for the victims, you will suffer from it one day yourself. Absolutely. This is not going to end in Israel. We have to fight it and kill it. Otherwise, it's going to go to Europe and America. And anyone who wants to live in the free world has to fight it.
Why is it that we are very vocal? We've been very loud. People are saying, "Oh, you're scared. You should be fearful for your family. You should be fearful for your life." I said, "You know who should really be fearful? My friends on the Gaza border and my friends in Gaza. Those are the people that should be fearful." Or a friend of mine's a soldier said, "Kleiman, go to sleep. It's 3 a.m. for you." I go, "Go to sleep." You know who's not sleeping? You, for the past 4 days because you've been in Gaza and you've been fighting this. It's not our job to be tired right now if it's not their job to be tired. Every combat soldier has 15 support soldiers. We need 50 support soldiers because every single person is part of this. And I love that what you're doing is you could have sat back in your life and coasted and been something else. No matter what you were and whatever path you chose, you're going to be somebody who is successful. Why did you choose this? Why did you choose to make a stand for helping and saving people when you could have done a million things, a million of the most traditional things? I mean, I've never seen you get tired. I've never seen you slow down. Even the videos of you getting COVID, the first thing you did is said, "I'm trying to save more lives." That's the first thing. Where does that come from? What happened in your life that said, "I will never tire, I will never settle, and I will always do more, and I'll always be more righteous"? What was that moment in your life that everything changed, which allowed you to fight this terrorism and allows you to be on the forefront of this terrorism?
Well, it all started when I was 6 years old. I was 6 years old, coming back from school. I was a regular kid. I had nothing different than me and other kids. But I was 6 years old, and I came back on a Friday afternoon, going home, and I see a bus getting close to the bus stop, the number 12 bus, in Beit Vagan in Jerusalem, right next to Yad Vashem.
Mm-hmm.
Literally
I know it.
a few hundred meters away from Yad Vashem. A bus stopped. And as I'm looking at the bus blew up in front of my eyes. That terrorist attack was done by the PLO. Yasser Arafat blew up that bus with 50 Israelis inside, Jewish people who were coming home for Shabbos, to have a nice Shabbos with their families, young students. I had friends in that bus. I was waiting for that bus. And I had people who already went on the bus before. They were in the bus. 6 people were murdered. I saw the people who were injured in the bus and outside of the bus. Luckily, nothing happened to me, but I saw people yelling for help. The bus smoke was coming out of the bus like it's going on fire. And people are screaming for help, but I was only 6 years old. I couldn't do anything. But I was frozen. I couldn't move. But I see the old man on the floor screaming, "Tazoli, help me, help me, help me." And I couldn't help him. I was only 6. I ran away and I left that man on the floor. And I never forgot the face of that man that needed help. I never forgot that man. I don't know what's his name. I don't know if he survived. I don't know what happened to him. But I know one thing, that I promised myself: when I grow up, I'm going to save people's lives. And when I was 15 years old, I went to volunteer in an ambulance. That's what I did. I was dreaming about saving a life, and I volunteered in an ambulance. And I realized, being in the back of the ambulance, you help a lot of people, but it's very hard to save people. And after a year volunteering in an ambulance, I said, let's start an organization that will be before an ambulance. Volunteers will get there 90 seconds. 90 seconds is the time to save someone. I said, that man that was on the floor was bleeding. And I don't know how long it took the ambulances to come, because I know for a very, very long time they didn't come. And the same thing is happening all around the world. People wait for help too long. In New York, in California, in Florida, it takes time for ambulances to come because of traffic. And the more cars you have on the roads, the more traffic you have, and ambulances can't go through and people die. And that's why I decided to start United Hatzalah. And once I saved the first person, I was 16 and a half years old. I saved a man who was run over by a car. And he was bleeding terribly. And I ran over because I heard they have a car accident and I'm nearby. I wasn't notified. I had to buy radio police scanners to listen into the ambulances because they didn't want us to know about the cause.
Of course.
We had to break
like Batman.
Yeah, it's like Batman. I used some Israeli technology called chutzpah. That's what it was.
It's a new concept. It just came out. So yeah. It's new in the App Store.
That's how I started, with 15 friends, and we just grew this organization to what it is today. Since that day, I treated over 5.5 million people. The organization treated over 5.5 million.
That's amazing. I think a few years ago, Yair, you recall, we went to a charity event where Jay Leno was speaking and was promoting United Hatzalah. And on the stage at the end, he bought a couple of motorcycles for United Hatzalah.
I was with Jay Leno just a couple of days ago. I went into, for 48 hours, I had to fly in to meet I went to meet the President of the United States in Tel Aviv. And I gave him a whole presentation. And then I decided to go also, I was invited to come meet with all the Republican candidates in RJC in Nevada. And I flew for 48 hours in and out. And on the way, I stopped by Jay Leno because I had a stopover. And he gave me a big hug and he said, I am with Israel. I am with Israel. Israel are the victims. This is Jay Leno, who's not Jewish. Said, Israel are the victims and we all should support it. He went into his room in his office and he wrote a very big, generous check for United Hatzalah.
Yeah.
mentioning Jay Leno.
So for all those people who want to give, and financial and big part of our conversations with clients that are calling us, I want to give, can I afford it? Talk to us about those types of people. And it's not just only the ultra rich and ultra successful, but how can everybody get involved financially? How can everybody get involved? What support are you looking for?
Well, my father, when he was a young kid, he was raising money to save Jews from Europe. And my father said to me, he was a young boy, he was saving Jews in 1940, 1938. He was saving Jews by raising money. That's the way.
So it's really, you're really in the family business, it sounds like.
Yeah, you just joined a different business.
My father was actually insurance business.
Oh,
he was in the insurance business.
It makes a lot of sense. You're helping people.
Look, we want to make sure you want people to pay their life insurance forever, right? You don't want them to die. That's what I do. My father owned a life insurance business in America, and I was saving people, make sure they don't die. So no, it wasn't
those premiums going.
Yeah. So what my father said to me when I was a little kid, he said to me, people after the war were sorry they didn't give more money. People said we should have done more. No one said we did too much. And I'm saying the same thing now. This is your opportunity. If you're not going to support now organizations like United Hatzalah, and you're not going to support Israel, you're never going to support. It's either you give now or you never give. Now is the time to give, because there was never a worse time for the Jewish people since the Holocaust.
Yep.
And if you don't know how to give now, if you don't know how to write a check, people are giving their lives. My son's in the army now, fighting for Israel. I am fighting every day with Israel. We had 2 volunteers who were murdered, 12 volunteers who were injured, and 2 were kidnapped. People gave their lives to protect the country. So if you want to do something, just donate money to support United Hatzalah or other organizations like us. We save lives. We're on the grounds. We need equipment. We need gasoline. It costs us just a gasoline for ambulances every day for the whole country. It costs us $25,000 a day to operate the ambulances, to operate them just for the gasoline. It costs us money to buy bandages, tourniquets, oxygen, defibrillators, monitors, more ambulances. It's millions and millions of dollars, and people could do it by writing a check. I just spoke to someone on the phone this afternoon, someone from New York who never gave us money. And he said, how much does it cost to train one volunteer? I said, it costs us $10,000 to train a new volunteer, give them their medical supplies, $10,000 with everything, with the walkie-talkie and everything. He said, I will train 22 volunteers.
Wow.
That's what we need, people to say, I'll take upon ourselves specific things in the organization, like oxygen, like defibrillators, like ambulances. Ambulances cost $250,000. We need more ambulances now. We don't know how long this might take. This could take a year. And the Hamas is not the only enemy we have here. We have Hezbollah, who are worse than the Hamas. These are all Iran support. I mean, these are all Iran connections. So if you want to support Israel, you should do it publicly. You should tell everyone I'm supporting Israel. American Eagle announced they're giving us a very big donation to support United Hatzalah. And they gave a very big, generous donation. They are a public company, and they supported Israel. We should have other companies support Israel, like them, even small companies. By the way, one person I know, he gave a very big donation, but his son, who was 10 years old, went with his friends and they made lemonade and different cookies, and they sold it, and they raised $3,500. This is incredible. 3.5 from a 10-year-old guy, a 10-year-old kid who went ahead and did it.
Listen, the support over here is incredible. My wife volunteered yesterday at Care One, putting together packages that are going to Israel. Everybody here is pitching in. The support that everybody has from us over here, you should know, everybody's 1,000%. And I mean, I can't say enough. I mean, when you give a donation, many times you don't know where it's going. But in this case, it's going, we know directly where it's going to go. It's going to be used on the front lines. You know your dollar is going to have a huge impact. So you shouldn't hesitate.
Right. And also, this is not a pop-up. This organization proved itself for the last many, many years, and for many more years. United Hatzalah is here every day for 2,000 emergencies, besides for a war. It's much harder for us to deal with everything now because of the war, but we're still saving lives of people having heart attacks and strokes and car accidents. So this is a great organization. And also, it's it's not only for Jewish people, it's for everyone. We're saving everyone. We have everyday victims that are not Jewish that we save. We have volunteers who are not Jewish who are saving. So there is no reason why not to support United Hatzalah, because we are non-political. We're everyone. We're saving people no matter who they are.
Can you talk about people who aren't Jewish that you're saving? You're going into where?
We're going to everywhere we could. I mean, everywhere in Israel that has Arab population, in Kfar Qasim, in East Jerusalem, in Akko, in every Arab village around in Israel that we have ability to go in and out alive, we go there and save lives.
No, you're not scared. And it's an amazing level of resilience that there's so many obstacles working against you, but you, instead of saying, okay, this is our capacity, somebody else step in, you're going, okay, how do we increase our capacity to take everything in? And this level of resilience is admirable for everybody. And if you're able to overcome it, and you're dealing with so much, you're flying in and out of 48 hours of flying. I've done it. It's terrible. And to just get right back in and to push right back through, it's really, really commendable what you're doing. So it's people, and this is something that I spoke on Fox and Newsmax about. We don't need people just today, but we need people. This is a marathon. We need people and advocates who are going to be there for a very long time. Today, tomorrow, a year from now. And the public opinion needs to be shown to people like you and to people who actually are doing on the ground what's going on college campuses right now. I have a friend, and I think he saved his life. That's the truth. He was a Harvard MBA. He was captured by Hamas, and the IDF for 15 hours. He was captured by Hamas, and they did unspeakable things to him. He was then saved by IDF, and I think you guys saved his life. I spoke to him the other day. He went to Harvard. Where's the statement? He's a Harvard grad. We were IDF lone soldiers together. He's a Harvard grad. Where's the statement? We don't need, we're against anti-Semitism today. We need to be against terrorism and evil. And our view, this is Amalek. We need to be against Amalek, and we've been against Amalek forever, but the world needs to see what we're doing. And it's amazing. The support from the non-Jewish community also is saying to us, get rid of this terrorism. Please get rid of this terrorism. And the only way to do it, and we had somebody yesterday on the podcast, and she said to us, we need money. Yes. We need help. We need gear. We need this. We need that. But we also need people to do better things every day, to do more mitzvot every single day and become better people. And that will overcome evil.
I would say, the rabbi spoke in shul a couple of Shabbases ago. He says, that Hamas, they don't value human life at all. That's like diametrically opposed to how the Jewish people are. And I think you actually represent our highest value and moral and ideals. I mean, you're the one that, you value everybody's life. It doesn't make a difference where it is, who it is, what it is. You're going in to save and I think you just represent what we all feel, all of Jewish people in their hearts, how they feel. That human life has the highest value, as opposed, diametrically opposed. You said, really, Amalek, Hamas, they don't care about human life at all. Their own people they don't care about. Your own Hatzalah worker speaking Arabic, they couldn't care less about. They're asking people, be our human shields. So what is it that they care about? Only themselves.
So Eli, we want to right now. I see your book 90 seconds, and we've been on this podcast for about 24 minutes. That's about 15 lives that you could save. So we don't want to keep you. You got a lot of work to do. Tell everybody where they can find your organization. Big companies, big financial institutions want to give and they don't know how to. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us. So some organizations are feeling, it's a political thing. Tell us about your organization, the accreditations that you have, the credentials that you have.
First of all, we have the United Hatzalah has a Friends of organization in America, so people could donate and get tax deduction for all the donations. It's a 501c3. It's called Friends of United Hatzalah. It's a New York-based organization, and we have a website called israelrescue.org, and they could learn more about what to support, how to support, and they could donate online also. But if someone wants to donate and contact me directly, I'm easy access. I have email Eli, E-L-I, at israelrescue.org. Eli at israelrescue.org, Eli at israelrescue.org. And you can just email me, and I can talk on the phone and explain more. It's very easy. This organization, it's a very transparent. It's run by a board of multicultural people, religious and secular, Jews and non-Jews. We have non-Jews, like Jay Leno's on our board, for instance. He is Italian. He makes good Jewish jokes, but he's not Jewish.
He's a comedian.
He's Canadian?
Comedian.
Okay. Yes, he is, but he's not Jewish. And I'm saying we have Jews and non-Jews supporting this organization because we are a humanitarian organization. We are life-saving. We also been to every disaster in the world. We were there sending our troops to help out in different situations like Ukraine. Even Turkey, who is the worst enemy now of Israel. We were there. Turkey is now supporting Hamas, which is not surprising with Erdogan as the president. But we still go out and help countries when they have trouble. Now we need your help. Now Israel is in trouble. We need your help, support, and you should definitely announce it. If you have a big company, a Fortune 500 or less, you should say, I'm with Israel and I'm supporting organizations like United Hatzalah. United is why we're successful. Hatzalah means save lives. And it's a good way to support us. And I'll be available. You can give my phone number to anyone you want.
And some people might text you late at night. Be careful. You got a lot of work to do.
I have a double phone. Look, this is my phone. It's a folding phone. I have room for any phone call anyone wants to call.
Eli, we love you. We appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much for coming today. And thank you for fighting and being on the front lines. Everybody looks up to you. Everybody here respects you. Everybody here cares about you. We need more people like you, and we need more people stepping up and standing up. You could have run the most successful pizza delivery shop in the world, but you decided to run the most successful life-saving shop in the world. Thank you for what you're doing. And
we're 100% supportive behind you.
Thank you so much. And I heard about your David, is that your mother that does the cooking?
My mother-in-law. My mother-in-law.
She's 83 and cooking for people.
She's got a staff now, of rotating staff of like 8 people that come and help her. She's like 83. I said, I can't do it anymore. So we're going to come and help. By
the way, that shows the resilience of Israel. Yes, you caught us by surprise. We were sleeping. We thought we have a ceasefire. We did a lot of mistakes. But now we're here to win for the safety of the people in Israel. 9 million Israelis live here.
And the people who take action will help us win.
80-year-old woman. And by the way, they have a guy who was like 85 who was fighting like 70 years ago or something. He's now back in Miluim, 85 years old with a gun. Be careful. We're very tough people.
They make a shit up with my mother-in-law.
Yeah. She'll take care of him. She'll cook a lot of food for him. Eli, thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.